The WhatsApp COVID messaging scandal and the fact that this has now gone to court to test whether or not the Cabinet Office can prevent the Baroness from getting access to, from deciding which WhatsApp messages are relevant. This is extraordinary. And there's a Times video which has gone out interviewing William Hague, which I think is very interesting. William Hague is a bigwig of the Conservative Party, a former Conservative leader and former Foreign Secretary. He seems to know really what he's doing. He's a good egg. And he says repeatedly that the inquiry needs to get on and do its job. And that there's a danger of another pandemic before the investigation is finished. George Freeman, who's a current Secretary of State, the Science Minister, has said that, well, first of all, he thinks that the government is likely to lose its case. And he's said that private conversation is the oil of good democracy. Free speech is the oil of good democracy. And the freedom to exchange ideas should be encouraged. And writing everything down, once it's written down, it can be seen. Well, of course. Boris has already said that he's handed over all unredacted WhatsApp messages. But many of them are missing from before 2021 because they were on his old personal phone, which had been hacked and which was itself the subject of a security breach. So this repeated statement that Boris has been very upfront, very honest, well, yes, he has, except that the really vital WhatsApp messages for the beginning of the pandemic are missing because they're on his phone. He says, well, you can have the phone. And as long as that doesn't, and you can get the messages from there as long as that doesn't endanger security. Well, that's the problem. That's the problem. So William Hague has said what all the fuss is about, the argument is about whether the judge makes the decision or whether the cabinet makes the decision. And if the judge makes the decision about what things she should see, then this potentially inhibits ministers in the future. Now it's going to be decided in court. William Hague assures us that Rishi Sunak has nothing to hide. Does he have something to hide? I doubt it, he says. But this is about establishing precedent. That unambiguously irrelevant files should not be handed to an inquiry, should not be considered. It's about truth and trust. Well, the Cabinet Office isn't really the one who decides what is truth and trust. It should be the person in charge of the inquiry. And that, again, is the problem. And more than that, when George Freeman says we won't win this, but we're going to use public money to test the case, it sounds like Suella Braverman's statement about pushing the boundaries of the law when it comes to the illegal migration bill. You see, during lockdown, the lockdown files which were published by Isabel Oakeshott, I think her interview with Julia Hartley-Brewer is interesting because, again, she gets to the heart of the matter because it's WhatsApp. It was government by WhatsApp, not government by cabinet. And she says decisions were often taken in a heartbeat, in a minute. Decisions which affected everyone's lives in the country, all done on WhatsApp. So if decisions were taken so fast and without proper engagement, then we need to see everything. We need to see why other ministers were distracted or were not focused on what was going on. What else was happening? So I think the Baroness is right, absolutely right. And Isabel Oakeshott points out that there was 1 month that Matt Hancock didn't provide her with WhatsApp messages. That was for March 2020. Why was that missing? Why is there so much in 2020 that is missing on Boris's phone, on Matt Hancock's WhatsApp? Why is that missing? And I think those are the questions. It's what's not there, which is probably more interesting than what is there. What is someone trying to hide? And If I'm asking this question, if you're asking this question, then you can be pretty certain that's what the Baroness is asking, and that's the heart of the issue.